Welcome to the Winter Handmade Market. Hi, Karen. How are you? So, ma'am. Hi, Tina. We're going to make some dangles for the journal that we're going to be working on later tonight in the art room. So, I needed to get it done. I figured I'd come live. Fridays are the Winter Handmade Market. So, it's kind of one of those deals. So I know it's pink. I get it. But you're going to see the things that I have curated for this journal and you're going to absolutely love it. So that's my game plan. Um I really kind of went back and forth whether to do gold or copper, and I'm still trying to decide is basically what's happening. So that's a whole situation, but I have a whole bunch of these pink beads that I got in Tucson back in August. It looks peachy. It's like pale pink. This is peach and pink, so maybe that's what made it look peachy. But yeah, they're like a baby. This one kind of maybe a little bit of peachy, but I thought I got all of that off of me. I've been digging paint off of me from last night for all day long. Anyway, so we're just gonna make a couple of dangles, and then tonight we're going to work on a journal. So I will have kits available for the journal for tonight with what we use. But if you have Valentine type things, not necessarily like a spousal Valentine thing, but we're going to do a self-love journal. So we're going to make ourselves a journal is basically what's going to happen. I know I've been preaching this whole self-love thing for a minute. And Skipper Miller, hello. I was in your show earlier. You've got some cute earrings. Should probably turn that off, right? Yeah, that's a whole thing. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. Happy Market Day. You were on for quite a while. Today we're going to make some dangles. I'm doing every Friday night we play in my art room. Tamika, hello, love. Here I am showing up. It's been a couple of weeks, you guys. I still have not kicked this stupid cough. It's a whole situation. So here we are. However, every Friday night we play in my art room doing different projects. I have kits available, all the different things. And the journal that we're going to work on tonight, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I've never been really huge on Valentine's Day. But one of the things that struck me, and we've been dealing a lot with it with our mental health journaling, is you really need to love yourself, right? And through loving yourself, we're going to do basically a Valentine to ourselves is the game plan tonight. But I wanted to have some dangles to put on the said journal. I will have kits available for the journal. If you are not adept at making jewelry, I can pre-make yours for you. But yeah, that was just kind of my whole thought process. Generally, when we do dangles, I know I have some shorter ones of these somewheres. Let's see what we got in here. But this is going to be just a basic wrap. It's going to be I want to do it as simplified as possible. So if you are so inclined to make your own, I want to make it easy for you. So this is my game plan. I think those are going to be a better option, ma'am. If you are new to me, hi, I'm Tam. I do beading, I do journaling, I do all the things, y'all. It's easier to say I do all the things. There is not a lot that I don't do, and I love teaching. It's like teaching is my go-to. I really enjoy teaching. On Debbie's Atelier Ray Train, I always, most of the time, do, hi Sandra, welcome, thanks for saying hi. I normally do a gel print demo, and last night, Tasha LeRae started playing with her gel plate that she got, and we were up till like 2 o'clock in the morning making art. It was crazy, but fun. So it's always a good thing to try new things, if you know what I mean. Why am I having such a hard time finding what I'm looking for? Yeah, it's a whole situation up in here. Look at us go. So anyhow, we're just going to throw together a dangle, maybe two. We'll see what happens. And it will go with the journal that we're going to be making tonight. So stay tuned. How many of you have participated in the Winter Handmade Market today? Like throw some emojis in here. Are you familiar with what the Winter Handmade Market is? That would be the next good question. Tamika, I know I saw your pineapple. The kitty pineapple is so stinking cute. Ma'am. I love it. All right. We're going to grab some head pins. Usually when I do dangles, I do a number of different components, and you think I could find a dangle in front of me anywhere? No, I can't. So we're going to make one, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Maple, hi honey, how are you? It's a mild obsession, I know, right? Tina, this is my first time on Whatnot today. I'm in Whatnot spending gel. Tina, here's a fun fact about Whatnot spending gel. I put myself in jail. I avoided shows, and I missed my friends, and it was a whole situation. So, pigging out on pizza in the car, right? You got to go get the kids soon, huh, babes? Basically, what I do now, I jump in people's shows and I chat, and I put myself on a budget. And a lot of people don't know, hi Tweet, that you can set spending limits in your profile and Whatnot. And the fun part about that is when you reach your limit, that bid, bright yellow bid now at the bottom goes away. Yeah. Saving my dog. Yeah, right. Oh, thank you, Karen, for pointing that out. So if you have been around a minute, you know that Doodles, Karen, used to sell on here back a bazillion years ago. And she stopped selling and just became an amazing customer to all of us. She and I have become amazing friends, and I'm blessed to be friends with her. But you guys know, like, the tags that she sends me as gifts in her swaps, and I show you all the time? She's doing a show and she's going to sell them. So go in, bookmark her show, and check out the gorgeous stuff that she makes. I am so excited. And there's a couple of them in there. None of y'all are allowed to bid against me. Just saying. If you know, you'll see them. You'll know which ones are mine. It's like, okay, anyway, here we go. So, pre-bid, absolutely. I have strung some beads on here. I started with a head pin. I put a daisy, some of the pink beads, a daisy between the beads, and you can do one of two things here. Oh, don't be nervous, babe. You are ridiculously talented. I'm going to show you first a simple loop, okay? So when you're making a simple loop, you go down here, you pull up a smidge, and you bend it at an angle. Now, you're going to learn your depth of how much you need to make a loop. Mine happens to be, but Tam, I'm the blessed one. So many amazing people and whatnot. Love you. I love you, babe. You're the bestest. I have judged that a decent sized loop for me is at the edge of my finger. You can measure and figure out what works for you. I'm using the flat side of my flush cutter, so it is not sharp and pokey. I'm going to position this where I want it, and then I'm going to hold on to it because otherwise it's going to fly. And we don't want these flying across the room because they're very dangerous to toes. Then I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to grab a hold, and I'm still holding this so I don't lose that bend. And I'm just rolling towards myself. I release and grab, and I just keep rolling until this that I cut meets my wire. I'm going to straighten it up a little bit. I want it centered. I don't like sloppy loops. That's a me thing. Making sure that it's closed. And there we have a simple loop. We're going to keep creating some of those. Molly, you're a normal hour working nurse now. That is so exciting. I'm so excited for you, babe. I am so glad that worked out for you. I need some more daisy spacers. Where did that package go? Right? So you can come hang out with us at normal hours. I make it look easy, but it's really not. I will show you something else. There is a tool to do this, and it is called the one-step looper. We're going to do that. We're going to just absolutely rinse and repeat that. So I'm going to take a head pin. I'm going to put on a daisy spacer. I'm going to put on the first pink bead. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Another daisy between my beads, one of the smaller ones, and then a daisy at top. For me, it's just quicker to use my pliers, but here we are. So we have the exact same thing as we had before. You're at your parents' Molly, what we're making right now is dangles for a journal that we're making tonight in the art room. I decided that since I'm not huge on Valentine's, we're doing a Valentine to ourselves or a self-love journal tonight, and I will have kits available. So if you have any of your journaling stuff, oh, we're using this thing. Okay, so come play with us tonight. I think it'll be 9 o'clock your time. You're on Eastern time, right? So there we go. We have all the beads. Now, this little tool, it's if you have arthritis, it can be annoying central. So it will be at 8 o'clock your time. It's very widespread, but it needs to be for all the mechanisms. And back here, if you can see, there's a hole in here. So what you want to do is you want to slide your wire through all of those vicious little looking hooks. You want to make sure to back off a little bit, because this piece, we're going to cut the wire here. This piece is going to push it around this peg and create your loop, and then it's going to push it down here. Now, if you have glass beads and they're too close to this edge, you're going to crack your beads, okay? So it's one, and the trick to this is to go slow. So there we've cut it. We're going around, we're pushing that to where it gets to the wire. See how it got there? And then I'm just going to jog it back a little bit before I release. And we have like a perfect loop. It's not closed all the way because I was talking my way through it. Skipper Miller, you are very welcome. Sometimes you need to close it up a little bit and straighten it. But I mean, it's a perfect size loop every time. And that is one of the things that I like about it. They're stupid expensive. I will say that if you make a lot of loops, they come in 3 sizes. And I will say this, I use this one the most, but if you buy the 3-pack on Amazon, you're basically getting the third one for free, unless they've gone up drastically in price recently. So if you make a lot of loops, if you do sun catchers, if you make earrings, if you make dangles, anything that requires you to make a ton of loops, these are priceless. And I suggest just getting the 3-pack, because it's going to save you money in the long run, because then you're going to have all 3 sizes. There's my 2 cents on that. Yeah. So we're going to do this again. So yes, basically what this is the size of the loop. So where's the one I just made with that thing? This. So if you think about this, let me find, hold on. I'm going to get a different color so you can see the difference. The 1.5 is about the same size as a commercially made loop. So when I'm doing like dangles and that kind of thing, I use 1.5 just so I have smaller, more, I I guess more condensed loops if I'm doing earrings, that kind of thing. However, when I'm making sun catchers, I use the 2.5 because I often have larger, heavier things, and I want to be able to use a heavier gauge jump ring when I'm putting things together. So you kind of have to look at what you use the most. If you're doing just mainly jewelry, this is going to be your best bet. because this is the 1.5 millimeter is the size of the loop that you're going to make. That makes sense. I was going to try to carry them in my shop. I do carry a lot of tools in my shop, but it was just cost prohibitive because you had to buy the minimum purchase was so ridiculous to carry them. So there's that. I know that sometimes some Michaels carry them. Hi, Maria. How are you? Happy Friday, my love. Has it started storming at your house, babe? So we're going to do this again. You got yours at Hobby Lobby. See, there a lot of the craft stores carry them. And if you go in and expecting to use a coupon, read the fine print because I don't think Michaels lets you use the coupon on those types of tools. Just double check before you get to the checkout. Not yet, just leaving grocery. Got it. Okay, so again, we're going to go through this. There's a hole here. You want your wire going through it, whatever it is you're looping. I'm pushing it all the way up. I'm sticking my nail in there and I'm pulling back just a smidge. I'm going to slowly cut. I'm moving my finger out of the way and I'm closing that loop. Once I've closed my loop, I'm going to push this down just a little bit to create that natural neck so my loop sits on top. And I just keep making them crooked because, you know, I'm talking through it. Normally, it does not do that. So, there we have that. It was like $25. Okay. And here's the thing with it. Do your research, right? Because there are coupons to use, there are deals to be had. But if you do a ton of loops, it is going to save you so much frustration. Just saying. It will save you a lot of frustration. So I'm going to just do some basic loops here. And if you're doing it with an eye pin, pay attention to how your loop sits. If you want it opposite, you want your loops opposite, turn it like this. If you want them perpendicular, turn it like this. Yeah. And it's the perfect size every time. And I'm being a little overly cautious with these crystals, but you know, I'd rather be overly cautious than crush a crystal. So we're going to make a couple of those. Hi, Wendy. How are you, babe? We are literally making a dangle for the journal project that we are doing tonight. We are going to, you know, you guys, Wendy's going to squall at me. We're doing a Valentine's journal tonight, but it's for us. It's a self-love journal for us. I'm okay. I really hesitate to say it's cold here because I know y'all are having like snowstorms and stuff, but we have a rain coming in. The storm, we are not totally missing the storm. We're going to have rain. Oftentimes when we get rain like that here, we get floods because, you know, Arizona. But it's been like 40 degrees, and we all know Tam doesn't do 40 degrees. So there's that. See, even the loop that I got from the store is a little wonky. Fix that before I get started. Okay, that's better. It's 11. Oh, ma'am. No. Just a big fat no. It's no. 11 degrees is against my belief system. Um, I will say I grew up in Kansas, and I grew up in the snow, so I get it, but I also don't want to deal with it. So there's that. Trying to find some other like little beads or spacers or something different I can put in there. Yeah. So is everybody prepared? You have all the things you need. And do we have a check-in system? We should put together a check-in system. Yeah. -10 and Sharon, ma'am, do you want to come stay with me? Oh my God. That literally just made me shiver. I can't. Just the thought of it is like, what? How do you survive that? In any way, shape, or form, how do you survive that? That is ridiculously cold. Ridiculous. I wouldn't even leave my house. Annie, I'm in North Carolina. We're expecting a big ice storm, big chance of losing power. Yeah. No. Yeah, see, and that's my stepson just got our generator working. That is awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. My friends are taken care of. It's important. So I have this little container where I keep like my little copper beads. So that's what I'm over here digging in. If you hear me digging around. And we're going to do our best not to drop it. So what I want to do is, what do we want to put in here? Let's put a little copper bead in here. We're right in the southern edge of the storm. It could be 50 and rain or a giant sheet of ice. Yaka, Greta, you have your backup power, right? Now, I just did this, and you see what I did to myself? That's gonna be sketchy if that is enough room for a loop. So I think we're gonna stick with a flatter one. Nope, that looks ridiculous. That'll work. Man, guys. So that gives me a little bit more space to make a loop. We're gonna try it. Worst case scenario, we cut it and start over again. So when you're doing something, yeah, that's gonna give me enough room. When you're doing something like this, see how my eye pin is not long enough to go through this loop? You just want to make sure that it doesn't go out the backside because it's not going to cut. So you just want to make sure that it is on that blade to cut before you start going. Yeah. Not perfect, but it worked. And we can fix anything. Okay, there's that. Let's do another one. Okay, drink a coffee. this. Let's do 2 more of those. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Winter Handmade Market, where we come together as a handmade community. We support each other. We raid into each other. I am making dangles. I'm doing a journal class later tonight, and I wanted to put some dangles on it. So I decided to show how to make the dangles preemptively for tonight's class. And we're literally just doing simple loops right now with a one-step looper. Showing how it works. And you just, what the heck just happened? You just kind of have to go slow and steady with it. So we got 2 of those. We got 4 of those. We're going to do 1 more of those. And then we're going to start. You make terrible loops. I hear that frequently. And I will say that the more you practice, the better you get at loops. Some people are just like, nope, not for me. And you can buy a tool to make them for you. So, one of the big things about making loops is, I don't know why this is so awkward today. So I got so much stuff up here, is why. When you're making a simple loop, are you still pondering that, Wendy? No, I said why I said because I don't do a hearts and love and all that either, which is why I wanted to do basically a Valentine journal to ourselves. And you always roll your eyes at me when I make you make lists of things you love about yourself. That's why I said what I said, because we're going to make a whole journal around that. That's good for you. I love you, if that counts. So, have you seen it? Stamp Babe, have you seen it? Yeah, see, we all love you, Wendy. I'm going to slowly do this. No, I'm not. I'm going to show you how to do a loop without the tool. Just get some journaling stuff. We're going to play. I've got some vintage embroidered napkins. I've got some vintage laces. It's going to be like pink and girly. I'm telling you, it's going to be pink and girly. I know I never do pink. Here we are. So when you're doing a simple loop, you want to go up to your beads and give yourself a little bit of space. Hold this and bend. Come on, focus. Your wire back. Okay. Now, this, I usually cut mine about the width of my finger. You can measure if you want to. It's whatever works for you. Get a hold of it. One of the things with loops is if you have that wire sticking out like that, it's going to lay funny. So you want it flush with your plier. Hold on to your beads and just slowly roll. I'm going to release and I'm going to grab and I'm going to slowly roll. I'm going to release and grab and slowly roll. And I think what a lot of people really struggle with when making loops is you see people on YouTube and they grab the thing and they boop, 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 and it's done. And you're like, you have this mental preconceived notion that you have to whip through it to do a perfect loop. And until you are comfortable making loops, go very slow, but also understand you can also adjust them. Granny, what are you saying yuck to? Hi, Lynn. Lynn, I was in your show earlier. How did you like miss the whole giveaway thing of the boomerang? That was rude. You made your first dangle last week. It was exciting to finally jump off the cliff and actually try it. Perfect? No, but it boosted me to want to try again. Oh, the girly thing. I know, right? I never do girly. We're gonna do vintage girly if that helps. So, I have no idea because I wasn't there when you ran it. That's why I didn't win it. I was busy doing other things. So you just the more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable with it. I promise you, when I first started making loops, my loops looked horrific. Promise. Um, but I like having the tool as a backup, especially when I have to make a ton of loops. That's a whole situation. Okay. So, I need probably you like this stamp, babe. Here we go. Probably just a pamphlet stitch because it's going to be smaller. I'm not a huge fan of glued bindings, but that's coming from someone that's been making books and journals for like 30 plus years. And the ones that were glued back in the day, even with bookbinding glue, they're not as stable as the ones that I sewed. So I just prefer a sewn binding. What do I mean by smaller? So the pages are going to be half the size of 8.5 by 11. So the pages are going to be 8.5 by 5.5. So when you fold them, the pages will be 5.5 by 4.25. So it's going to be like a 4 by 6 journal. Do you like the way that I just did that math in my head on the fly? Are you proud? I was proud of that, obviously. It's nurse brain. You have to math on the fly because people's lives depend on it, man. I was everybody's math tutor when I was in nursing school. I'm sure some people don't want to hear that, but I love math. Okay, we're going to grab another one of these. I'm going to throw on one of these little bead caps. We'll see if it's going to fit and what it's going to look like. And again, I'm just doing this on the fly, guys. If you have I just do not like the way that looks. I think we need a bigger one for that. Let's see what this one looks like. So like I said, I'm going to figure out. Yes, babe, I have not had a chance to look at that. Honestly, it's been kind of a crazy week. I plan on sitting down with that stuff later tonight. So we have this. Yes, keep sending them to me. That looks kind of cute. I like that. We're going to put one of these to match the other ones. We're going to put another big one. This is going to be our bottom one. And then we're going to put this. Oh, let's put another bead cap on it. Why not? Oh, I wonder what the little one will look like on top. This is me talking you through how I design stuff. I talk to myself. Now I'm just talking to you all. Okay, that's going to work. Yeah, one or two. Depends on what kind of papers I roll out. Can you tell I haven't completely planned it out in my head? I have the piles of stuff sitting on my art room table right now. I know, babe. Because it's so small, yeah, let's do one signature with like 7 or 8 pages. This sounds like a game plan. Do you have vintage doilies? Oh, I'm going to show you a wrapped loop. So when you do a wrapped loop, you put your plier right up against your beads. You want them tight. I'm holding this. I push it over and I'm turning this into a 90-degree angle. Okay. Then I'm going to take my round nose and I'm going to place it on the part that's sticking out. So let's say that I want a really fat loop, I'm going to place it down here. If I want a really small loop, I want it down here. Because round nose pliers are generally tapered, if you want to avoid that and have the same size every time, you can use your 6-step, or you can take a Sharpie and you can mark on here so you put your wire at the same place every time. Those are ways to get loops that are the same size. So I'm pushing this up and over. Gosh, the sparkles are killing this focus. I'm pushing it up and over. I'm going to release and go up here, and then I am going to continue past, and then I'm just going to bend this up. Oh, for gosh sakes. Let me get a hold of it. This is the camera with these sparkles is having a fit. I'm sorry. There we go. Get it at a right angle. I feel like putting like a piece of tape around these sparkles so it'll focus so you can see this. I'm going to grab a hold of this and I'm going to pull it tight around my plier so I have a good loop. Okay. Now, once you've done that, what you typically do is you take a second pair of pliers, Best Boutique of Baubles and Bling. That, my dear, is a mouthful. Welcome. I want to hold that loop because I want to keep it steady. I want it to be that circle and I don't want it to get bent out of shape. Then I'm going to take this other piece and I'm going to wrap around. And this is very difficult because this is a very heavy gauge and it's very tiny. I should have got a bigger one to demo this, guys. And I'm just tucking it around. One of the fun things about these crimp pliers that I sell, they have multiple sizes of loops here. And if you use that, it makes your little things tuck easier because it's going inside of the circle. Gracious me, oh my. That was a whole mouthful. And that was, does anybody need me to redo that, like, properly? Because that was ridiculous. Here, let's do this easier so you can see. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of copper wire. You're going to take this and you're going to bend it at a 90-degree angle. Okay, this is where your beads are. You want to take your round nose, and however large you want your loop to be, that's where you're going to set it on your plier, and you want to put it on the part that's going out at a 90-degree angle. You want to hold your beads or whatever you have going here and push this up and over so it looks like this. Then you're going to rotate your plier to the top. You're going to continue going, and then you just kind of jog that up to the top so your loop is sitting right on top of whatever it is you're beading. Then you're going to take a second pair of pliers and you want to hold the loop so it stays in a perfect circle. And you're going to take your plier with your other hand and you're just going to wrap it around. And when you're doing your wraps like this, if they're not lining up right next to each other, that's okay. We can adjust that. And one of the best ways to adjust that is take your plier while you're still holding it and just push it up. See how I just did that? When you go to snip your excess wire, you want to use the flat side of your flush cutters so you have a flat cut here. Make sure you cover it so it doesn't fly and smash you into your eyeball or something. Those things can be wicked. And like I said, my crimp pliers have 3 different size holes here. So if you use that portion to tuck in your excess wire, you're not going to mess up the circular of your wraps. Was that easier to understand? Okay, here we are. So back to what we're doing. We are going to get all of this mess out of our way, and we have our little loops here. So how I like to do dangles, I like to do it on chain. Do I have a chain that's going to work? I do. This will be a fun chain. Sorry, I hit the camera. Let me find the end. Yeah, that'll be fun. So basically, I'm just going to start out, let's say, I don't want it real long because it's going to go on a journal. So I start with my longest one first. Let's say this is my longest one. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's do 11 because, if your chain isn't soldered, awesome. If it is, you just want to snap that. When you're opening a loop, you always want to open it side to side so you don't ruin the integrity of the ring. So you want to use 2 pliers and go side to side. So we have 11 there. So we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm doing odd numbers. When you're designing jewelry, odd numbers often are more pleasing to the eye. Did I get the right spot? Of course I didn't. My eyeballs are not working today. Gracious. It doesn't want to go. Maybe it is soldered, so we're just going to snip it. There we go. Now it is. Again, side to side. Open, close. And then the last one we're going to do 5. Just because it sounds like a good idea. I have to snip that. My coffee's cold. Oh, man. I've definitely not been drinking enough coffee lately. I've been drinking a lot of herbal teas to try to kick this stupid cold. There we go. Got it. This is a very awkward angle, I will say. Okay. So we're going to open that up side to side. Take this off. Close it back up so I don't lose it. And there's my chain. So, I am going to... Are these closed rings? They are. Okay. Well, we're going to use a closed ring. And we are going... I should have had this out when we started this, but here we are. Here we are. I'm going to open all 3 of these up. And I am going to put this on my closed ring. Hi, Linda. Hi, Zoe. Hi, April. Welcome. We're just doing a... There's so much stuff in my way right now. We're making a dingle. So I'm going to open this up side to side. I'm going to hook it on my closed loop. Get a good hold on that. I'm going to close that up. I want it good and close because this is, oh my God, obviously going to be on a journal. So there's our first one. We're going to grab the second one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put these on either side. Open it up. Put it on our ring. Blazing Creations, thank you so very much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Did you have a lovely show? We are making dingles right now. It was great. Awesome. Y'all, if you are not following Blazing Creations, please give them a follow. What do you do? Share with the class. And then we're going to put the smallest one on. And that one is closed. Okay. So, this is what we have going on here. We have our 3 chains for our dingles. And usually what I like to do is just lay it out. Hand burnt items like bookmarks and earrings at the moment. Ooh, that's awesome. Are you using the pen and freehand it? Or do you use the paste? I'm curious. Yes, the pen. So old school. That's awesome. I will have to, I'm clicking on you right now. I'm going to give you a follow. And, oh, you are new. No. Sorry, guys. Uno momento, my friends. Val, you've been a seller for about 5 months. You're venturing into the handmade. That is awesome. Oh, you would do upcycled teas too. I'm loving the butterfly one. Man, I'm going to have to come see you. There we go. Guys, if you like upcycled cantha teas, sorry, I don't mean to take away from your wood burning, but man. Nice. Very awesome. I gave you a follow. We're going to have to come check you out. Do you have shows scheduled? January 25th. Have you bookmarked? Awesome. Thanks for the raid. I appreciate you. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. So, when I'm designing a dangle, usually what I like to do is I like to pay attention to what am I going to put at my ends. I want to have this at my longer end, so that's going to go there. And then this one can go here. And then I can just disperse the rest of these throughout here as I go. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to hook this love charm to this. And how I'm going to do that the same way we did everything else. Open it side to side. Put whatever you're putting on. And then close it the same way you opened it. Okay. So we're going to make sure that's good and closed. And so as long as we have this in our hand, we can take this other end and we can open this and we can hook it to this bottom loop because that's where that's going to go. And then we know this one is going to go on the longest one. So let's pop that one on there. Only for that one, because we did the wrapped loop, we need a jump ring of some sort. Let's see. Is this one? We're going to pop this open. I'm going to have to snip it because, half of them are soldered and half of them aren't. Why would you want to do this to me? Here we go. So we're going to do this. Open it side to side. Let's focus on me. You're having wars tonight. Open. Slide that on there. Wonder love it. Hello, love. How are you? We're making pink dingles for a journal class that we're having later tonight. Okay, so there's that. So now basically what we have left to do is decide what we want to put on this other one. I think we're just going to put one of these larger ones on the other one. So again, like all of them, open it side to side, put it over your loop, close it side to side, And there we have that. So legit, you could just leave it like this and you have a really cute dangle, right? Gifty Gypsy, hello, my friend. You could literally just leave it like this and it's a cute dangle, but why would we do that when we have all these little things over here we made? So I'm looking at the loops that I have as opposed to the head pins, and I have only 2 bottom ones left. So these 2 are going to go together. Maybe we'll set those aside for later. Okay, let's hook them together. No wonder nothing ever works for me. I'm doing it wrong. Thank you for the demo. What are you doing wrong, love? Open. Close. Confused by that. And so what I do is I just kind of lay it, opening that loop the wrong way. Oh my gosh, yes. Side to side, when you pull it open, it's ruined. You might as well throw it in the trash. Because what's going to happen is you're going to work it and work it to try to get it round again. You're going to overwork your wire, which is going to cause integrity issues and it's going to cause breakage. Open, close, yes. You should come hang out with us. When you overwork wire, you guys, it really messes with the integrity of it, and you will have breakage in your jewelry. It may not happen immediately, but it's going to break down and it's going to fall apart. And then people are going to be like, oh, I don't want to buy your jewelry. There's a finger ring 8 West or sometimes that helps open those. Yes, there is. Oh, you wear. Got you. Yes, there is. Do I still have it sitting here? I have one. It's really hard to use with the little ones, but I will say maybe. Yep. So basically, they have like a ring that you can put on, and you just wear it on your finger. And so when you go to open, I'm trying to find a bigger jump ring so you can see. Why I have such a hard time finding stuff on my desk when I'm doing this, you guys. I'm gonna need this in a little bit anyway. So when you go to open a ring, give me a minute. Basically, you have your pliers in one hand, and instead of having to pick up another pair of pliers, you just slide it in and you use the ring to hold it for you. And I don't have a good hold on this, and I'm demoing this horribly. So it holds it for you, you put it in, you set it back in, and you close it. Yeah, it does. It doesn't, and we're going to need that in a little bit anyway, so there's that. So yeah, there is a tool. There's a tool for everything, you guys. Back when no, they sell them, Maria, at all the beading places. I have like, if you need one, let me know. I probably have a bazillion of them around here. Just remind me. Send me a message. Anywho. So, yeah. I I don't u unless I'm doing, like, a large project, like, that would be good for if you were, like, doing one of those big one of those big sun catchers, the, chicken wire sun catchers that Greta does. That would be a good tool to have because then you're doing your thing. Greta's like, "Why are you talking about me, Tam?" It would make it go a lot easier because then you're not having to use 2 pairs of pliers. You can have 1 pair of pliers, the ring, and you it's more streamlined. So, anyhow, there's that. Okay, so what we were saying was I have too many loops. So let's do one more, and then we're gonna call this D for done because this has taken me way too long. I would like to point out that normally I can whip through these in like 15, 20 minutes. So, but that's obviously when I'm not giving directions every step of the way. I just get in the groove and I start going. Um, I think because we have the charm over there, and sometimes I just hang it to see how it's going to hang. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but it doesn't mean that other people don't want to use it. Mhm. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to close that yet because I want to see. And there again, we don't want to overwork the wire. So see, that hangs quite beautifully, actually. There we go. Okay, we're going to close that up and call it D for done. It's a good little tool. It really is. Oh, I started to say they have a tool for everything now. Like back in the day, when I first started learning to bead, it was all primitive. We made our own stuff. And nowadays, y'all that are newer beaders, you're so lucky because you have tools for everything, like the one-step looper, like the earring maker, like um, the wire jigs, all of that. If we wanted a wire jig, we took you just right, absolutely, because we were learning back in the day. It's okay. We learned, and we learned how to adapt and make do. That that is the key to all. Okay, so like I said, we've got this loop. Um, I, oh my gosh, my hands are just like, no, Tam, you're not doing this today. I'm going to hook this in. I'm going to hook on my little hook, and I am going to close it up, rocking that back and forth from side to side, making sure that it's closed. And you'll feel it click in when it's closed. And we're done. And there's our cute little pink and copper dangle. Easy peasy, my friends. That's it. That's all. We're going to put that on a journal later tonight. Does anybody have any questions? Would anybody like to buy one of those? Here we'll run a dangle just because we can. Na na na. There you go. If you want one of these dangles, there you go. All you. I ran something. I have not put in Karen, you're such a brat, thank you. I have not put in I love you, babe. Thank you. Mucho love to you. Kind of like the last 9 minutes of a football game that lasts 30 minutes. I know, right? You could make some tassel pretties for the late night crew. I have a whole box of tassels around here somewhere that I made. Does anybody else want one? I wonder what happens if you hit run next. I'll make another one if somebody else wants one. Pasties. Good Lord, Lynn. That's funny shit. You're in the recliner. Oh, Greta. Ma'am. That's not safe for you. That's like immediate nap time. Right? Yeah, that's a whole thing. So cute, easy. She gets all the credit. Running out to eat with the hubs before the sky falls. See you tonight. Much love. Thank you, babe. Enjoy your dinner. I'm gonna go make dinner before tonight. We're gonna do roasted veggies and barbecue chicken. So we're gonna get that done. I said pretties and you said pasties. Tassels. I know, right? Comfort food at its best. Excuse me. Coffee went the wrong direction. So, for tonight, I mean, we're gonna probably use like a file folder for a cover, a heavy duty file folder. Grab a file folder, grab some papers, lined, pretty, whatever. If you have gel prints that are pinkish or whatever color scheme you want to do, grab those. Grab any laces. Grab, that might be a new niche for naked strippers and maples. Next time I go thrifting with her, do I need to take her some tassel pasties? I'm going thrifting with her next week sometime. I don't know. Oh, yeah. It did you way dirty, but I got it completely. That's the scary part. I totally caught what you were saying. Does that mean that my brain is as dirty as autocorrect these days? Yeah, that's what that means. Okay. Good Lord. All right, my friends. Maybe, maybe, maybe I'm bad. All right, we're gonna play tonight. Grab your stuffs. I'm gonna go get some dinner made for my family before we go play. We've got 3 hours. We speak in red. We do. Apparently, I need to do something with these nails because I destroyed them last night. Thank you all for hanging with me. Maria, give him a big hug for me. Much love to each and every one of you. We're going to find somebody in the winter handmade market to raid into. Well, that didn't work out well for me. Welcome in, everybody. We need to find somebody in the winter handmade market. I usually have a whole list made and know exactly where we're going. And it didn't happen tonight because, it's a whole thing. I was going to raid into my friend Alice, but she must not have got rid of her cold. So we're going to go see Lost Mermaid Gifts is what we're going to do. See you after dinner and a nap. I'm going to call you if you're still sleeping. You better make sure your ringer's on, ma'am. We're going to go see Estelle. Have a blessed rest of your day. I hope to see you in about 3 hours in the art room. We get up to some fun. If I do not see you, come join Rob and I tomorrow for live crafty thrifting, where we go through the thrift store and find things that we can repurpose into our art. Have a very, very blessed rest of your day. Much love, my friends.